Mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts.
MMA.
How do you like your martial arts?
MMA.
Like them mixed.
MMA.
Mixed in martial arts.
MMA.
Mixed in martial arts.
MMA.
We're stupid.
Damn.
The
guys,
musical
that
stylings.
That was no rehearsal.
Burns of
That's no rehearsal.
positivity and
That's
the
just
baddest
off the dome. That's just off the dome.
MMA media. Getting you ready for lots of mixed martial arts action on this Saturday. We got the UFC getting ready to kick off in 30 minutes. Bellator kicks off in 2 hours and 30 minutes. And we have, I believe, 26 or 27 total fights to look forward to. As we welcome you to the People's Pre-Fight Show, we turn the programming over to you to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about in regards to UFC Vegas 37 and Bellator 266. Light heavyweight main events on both shows. UFC has Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. Bellator countering with Phil Davis versus Yoel Romero. Let's talk some mixed martial arts. I am Mike Heck. We heard the musical stylings of Alexander K. Lee, but now we're going to hear his MMA predictions and styles and comments. There he is. How are you, sir?
Keep the music going. Keep it going. Okay, no, all right. I'm doing great, Mike. It's always great to chat with you and our good pal Casey here, and doing it with some good tunes in the back, and with two Saturday night cards to look forward to, nicely staggered apart. So plenty of time to catch all the action. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it. Let's go.
All right, and you already mentioned him, but Casey Leydon joins us as well on the ones and twos. How are you, sir?
I like my mixed martial arts. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to talk mixing the martial arts. So give me some questions, fans.
All right. Yes.
It's exciting.
That's your job. That's all you guys have to do.
6,000 fights tonight. We get to watch them all.
Yes. And
Can't have too much of MMA. Can't have too much of it.
Make sure you join us for the post-fight show somewhere like 2 a.m. or something when we talk about 26 fights. So let's go to the peeps. What are the peeps thinking on this
all right,
Saturday?
First question from Andrew Nash.
Exactly that way.
Mm-hmm. And you only get one.
Yeah.
So that was it. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. We'll never see you again on this channel again, but you used your question wisely. Great job.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Is that Disco Stew? In the avatar?
I think so.
Disco Drew.
Disco Drew.
All right,
Disco Drew.
Yeah, so just do that. Question: how do you think Yoel Romero's slow-paced but explosive style will do in Bellator as opposed to the UFC? Casey, I want to start with you because nobody, and I mean nobody, is a bigger fan of the Bellator cage than you are. So how do you think Yoel's style will translate into your favorite cage in the sport's history?
The big old round, super round, extra round Bellator cage with no corners to yeah, whatever. I don't think he's not really a guy who uses the cage much. He's really, actually, I think, if anything, he's one of the fighters I don't really think it matters, because like he just kind of stays in one place and just kind of waits for an opening. He's not really a guy that runs around, bounces in and out. So actually for Romero, you can put him in a phone booth, you can put him in a football field. I think the fight will be slow paced regardless. So no, I think with Romero, really, the biggest question will be, when will he finally be old? Like, we think he's 44, who knows? But I mean, at some point his age will show, and maybe tonight's tonight. We don't know. Obviously, I think with his age, maybe his age is preventing him from cutting to 185. So not much has been talked about him going up 20 pounds in weight. 20 pounds in weight against a very big 205 from Phil Davis. That's the biggest question. So normally the difference in cages, in sizes are a factor, but with Yoel Romero, I do think that's an exception.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference based on his style. He likes to just kind of stand in the middle and wait for things to happen. But Phil Davis is so used to the cage, and his style is very Phil Davis-y, shall we say, and he just likes to grind away. So, I mean, I'm interested to see what Romero's cardio looks like after all this time. Going up 205, will it be improved? Will the 44-year-old age kind of rear its ugly head? Because that cardio is going to get tested for sure tonight. No doubt about it with the way Phil Davis likes to grind away. What are your thoughts on this, AK?
Oh, real quick, though. I think what is interesting about this, though, but if we say this Phil Davis grinding style, has Romero been grinded out in a decision loss? Most of his losses are kind of from inactivity. I mean, right? I know the Whitaker fight.
That's why I'm picking Romero. Again, no, exactly. I've never seen him. He's definitely. I mean, he was known for a while there for sort of falling behind on the cards, and his. I think he still is tied for the UFC record. He might hold it now for most third round finishes. So, I mean, he's certainly been on his way to losing decisions. That's definitely not something new. But as far as definitely no one can hold him down. I mean, even though he doesn't use his amazing wrestling offensively all that much, it is the thing that has kept him able to keep fights where he wants them to be. Standing, swinging, countering. That's how he uses his wrestling. So I don't recall him ever being held down. I don't think Phil Davis would even think he could do that. But you did make a good point, Casey, in that it's not so much the change in promotions that matters. It is the change in divisions. And I don't know how long he'll be at 205. If he can still he was clearly having trouble making 185 on the dot for quite a while there in his last few fights in the UFC. So the move up to 205 makes a lot of sense, but he's just going to be at a really tough size deficit. The light heavyweights in Bellator are legitimate light heavyweights for the most part. These are not guys that are just 185ers up at 205. These are really big 205ers. So, I mean, can he be a champion in Bellator with the right matchups? Sure, but he'll be really, really hard pressed to land these knockout shots against the Ryan Baders and the Vadim Nemkovs and guys like that. They're just bigger, and they're just gonna not have to play into his counter game. They'll be dictating a lot of the action. So I am picking him tonight. I'm picking him to go again someday become champion in Bellator. That's a bit more difficult to say, but I do like his chances against Phil Davis.
Can he be the first person to finish Phil Davis in a fight?
I think so.
Wow.
I think so. I'm going crazy.
He's going to land a big one, huh? He's going to land the big shot.
I think he's going to land the big shot. I'm a believer in that Romero still has a lot left in the tank. Again, I would hope he could drop back down to 185. If he can't, I think he'll at least be a fun addition to the light heavyweight division.
So two things sort of popped in my head throughout this conversation. One, and I'm trying to remember it. It's something I have to go back and watch, but I feel like Jacare kind of grinded him out. They gave Romero the decision, but I feel like Romero exploded in the first round. I think Jacare kind of controlled him on the ground the next two rounds. But
that was a good fight. That was an underrated fight.
It was a super close fight. I thought Jacare won.
I thought Jacare won too.
Thought Jacare won, but Romero got the decision. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, we had some unfortunate news earlier today that Anthony Johnson is out of the light heavyweight Grand Prix. He's fallen ill, non-COVID related, but apparently very scary. He posted on Instagram. Bellator said more details would be revealed during the broadcast tonight. I wonder if this fight could be for that spot, to fight for the title and get into the Grand Prix. Phil Davis was there before, already lost to Nemkov, but they need another guy in that Grand Prix. And if Romero wins, throwing Romero right back in there doesn't hurt either. So, and with these Grand Prix, I know they have the card set in October. It doesn't mean they have to do the fight in October. They could do it in November, December, January. These Grand Prix can last however long it needs to. So there's no rush on getting Nemkov back in there to fight somebody. So I wonder if the winner of this fight gets into the Grand Prix and for Davis's sake, gets back into the Grand Prix and gets a third crack at Nemkov. So we'll see what the stakes are at. The stakes might have been rose up a little bit ahead of tonight's card.
That'll be a trilogy match if they do Nemkov Davis with Nemkov winning. Nemkov's won twice already, right? Over Phil Davis? Yep. Yeah. Competitive, and every fight was competitive. It was just Nemkov was just slightly better. All right.
Also, what happened to the Romero fight with Rumble? So Romero had an eye issue, something with his eye. It's been cleared up, so he's good to go now. That's why he was out of that fight and out of the Grand Prix in general.
Yep. And then then Rumble fought. I forget his opponent's name, but it was a crazy fight. But Rumble did wind up winning the replacement replacement fighter. All right, I like this question.
Is Phil Davis underrated? He's coming in as the champ, and it seems as though all the talk is about Yoel. Well, he's not the champ.
He's not the champ. Yeah,
He's not the champ. He's a former champ. So maybe
yes.
that's what Wayne meant. But
yes,
yeah, I think Phil's a little bit underrated. I think people just look at the style, and I think it's just kind of I don't know if it's like the cool thing in MMA to sort of like hate on Phil Davis and just go with the narrative. Because, I mean, he showed in the Nemkov fight, he can be a little bit more explosive. He can be in exciting fights. If you put him in a firefight, he can hang. I thought one of the interesting things about our interview was, because I asked him specifically about people labeling him boring. And he's like, you know what's interesting about the whole thing is, you know, if you're not Brazilian and if you're Brazilian and you grapple, people cheer for you. They love it. Like when Neiman Gracie's working off his back in the first round trying to get submissions, they love it. They cheer for him. But when I do that, I'm boring. What's the difference? Why can't I grapple? Why can't I do that stuff? So that was sort of the question that in the comparison that he relayed. But AK, do you feel like Phil Davis is underrated, or do you feel like he's rated where he needs to be?
Overrated, underrated is always an odd thing. It really depends who you ask. I'm actually like leaning a little bit closer to saying he might be properly rated. Again,
where do we have him rated? Let's set the bar.
You're right.
Where are we talking about? I forgot.
We have the official MMA rankings, the only rankings that matter in the world. I believe, I want to say we have him tied for 11th right now, if memory serves. Does that sound right? I'm looking it up right now, but does that sound familiar to you guys? I believe we have him tied for like 11th.
Looking at it right now.
Yes, tied for 11th with Ankalaev.
See, that's crazy to me. So do we have
Casey, where do you have him in your rankings? Do you remember where you voted Phil Davis in your rankings?
Phil Davis, Casey? I have.
Top 7, I would assume, something like that, right? Somewhere in the top 7.
Phil Davis, I have number 10.
Number 10. Okay, so it's not too crazy.
Actually, I thought I would have him higher, but
right.
I have him ranked higher than anybody right now. I have him ranked at 7.
You have him ranked 7. Okay, it was Mike that has him ranked at 7. So if now that we have a reference point, our own rankings, he probably is slightly underrated, right? I would not again. I think you were about to mention Anthony Smith, who's also fighting tonight, right? Casey. Yeah, I guess a case could be made. He is. I guess he doesn't have the high profile wins, but you're right. If you just look at his losses, he's only lost in his last 4 losses: twice to Nemkov, twice to Bader. That's it. And then Anthony Johnson, and we're going way back.
Now we have to go way back. I mean,
this is and then Rumble, and this is all the way back 2014. So in the last 7 years, he's only lost to 3 guys.
And 3 competitive fights too. No, super competitive fights. Yeah.
The Anthony Johnson. Well, no,
I'm talking about within the last 10 years. Yeah.
Let us never speak of the Bader.
The Ryan Bader matches.
The competitive, yes. Entertaining. Heaven help us, no. I think the thing is though, his opponents just don't have the name value of that Anthony Smith's opponents have. Before, maybe not Anthony Smith's last 2 opponents, but he has a lot of like good UFC names on there. It's just a Bellator UFC issue. Fans just don't have the same regard for like Linton Vassell, Liam McGeary, Emmanuel Newton. Again, I'm just going over all of Phil Davis. So again, fair or not, this is why we're giving Anthony Smith a little more than Phil Davis. So I'm closer to properly rated, but definitely I think of any discussions from like anyone who's like too UFC centric, who says like, oh, the guy's not in the UFC anymore. Who has he beaten recently? Why are we even talking about him? That would definitely be an underrated viewpoint. But I do think in like the 8 to 12 range is where he belongs. So it really depends how high he is. So I'm saying Mike is overrating him, is what I'm saying.
Right, but here's the thing about 205. I think if you go from 7 to 15, you can like mix and match them. Really, at this point, like it's just kind of a battle on who can separate themselves from the pack. Because I think I have Corey Anderson. Obviously, if he beats Ryan Bader, he makes a big leap. Thiago Santos on a losing streak. Dominic Reyes on a losing streak. Anthony Smith just snapped a losing streak. Ankalaev, we need to see a little bit more against higher competition. Paul Craig the same. Johnny Walker the same. And then I have Rumble at 15. So if either of these guys go out and get an impressive win, they could just jump right up there and take that 7th spot. So I feel like a lot of these guys are neck and neck with each other. It's pretty much it's a wide open thing. And I just think Davis's resume, what he's done recently, the fight with Nemkov being a former champion, I just think like all points in the resume he just like has a nose above some of those other guys just with the history. But again, being 7 and being 14, there's not a huge difference in my eyes.
That's interesting. Where do you have Anthony Johnson at?
15.
See, that's good. Okay, Anthony Johnson, I have him ranked number 4.
Yeah, we know. We know how high you have him ranked. Hashtag rogue panelist.
And I don't. Who's he lost to at 205? DC.
He has. That was again. He has one. This is the ranking show.
Yeah. Now we're doing the ranking show. All right, let's move on. We got lots of questions. We got lots of questions.
Like 3 years.
Yeah, I know, but
All right.
what are we basing it on? He struggled, but we give all these other fighters credit for being out for a while, having a little ring rust. He has a ring rust. Actually, Anthony Johnson did something he's never done before. He came back from adversity, and I took that as like, wow, this is a better Anthony Johnson. Because Anthony Johnson before, whenever he gets hurt, that's been his whole thing. As soon as he gets tired, as soon as he gets hurt, everything goes downhill real fast. And the last fight,
it was against a guy who's like not in the top, like not a top 50 light heavyweight.
And because you never heard it, you just what? It's like. And he beat him, and he knocked him out cold. He knocked him out cold. He got hit one time hard, and Anthony Johnson came back, struck from that struggle, from that adversity, and then knocked that guy out viciously.
That one win since 2016.
And yeah, that's what I mean. So just because of his inactivity, you like if inactive, you just moved him down. All right.
Correct. Yes. Next question.
What else we got?
Hold on.
Does the winner of the Kutalaba-Clark fight crack the top 15?
No.
That's a tough.
In the UFC rankings,
which aren't real.
I mean, for the purposes of conversation, obviously they're the phony rankings. Kutalava's been in there before. I think he's been like 14, 15 before. He's not right now. No, I can't imagine. So right now in the UFC rankings, I hate to even bring them up. 15 Jamal Hill, 14 Jimmy Crute, 13 Misha Serkinov, who's moving down to 185. Wait. So
both of them are outside the top 15, correct?
They're both outside the top.
So how would one of them beating someone outside top 15 bump someone that's in the top 15 out?
I'm not sure.
So some 205 are just sitting on their couch going, "Oh man."
Yep. Jamal Hill be like, "What did I do? What did I do?" I guess theoretically, if Misha Serkinov is removed from the rankings, which it won't happen until he fights at middleweight anyway, and even then they might the things are slow to change. One of them could sneak in, but I'm
no. It's a fight that both gentlemen need. That's about it.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's a top 15 spot on the line. I mean, there's guys like Alonzo Menafiel that's probably ahead of both those guys. Dustin Jacoby's probably ahead of both those guys. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, light heavyweight is, like we just discussed, not that. It's just not that deep. Down Jung's there too. I feel like he's probably ahead of both of those guys right now. So, have you guys heard about Anthony Johnson being pulled out of his fight due to some sort of illness? Thoughts? We just kind of talked about that, but yeah, sounds pretty scary. We don't know any real details about it. He posted on Instagram that it's pretty scary stuff, but it's not COVID.
Yeah,
so
he said he's never been this scared in his entire life. So, again, we don't know the details. I don't even want to speculate on what it could be, but yeah, sounds very serious, and I don't know, maybe not something that we'll see him come back from for a while, but yeah, again, you guys can check out the story on fighting.com, and not a lot of details so far, but yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, can't really. It's just speculation, and if everything he says is true, I hope he gets better, and I want to see Anthony Johnson fight. He's a incredible underrated 205er.
Yeah, I was told by a Bellator official that more details about the whole situation will be announced on the broadcast, and I don't know if they're going to say what. I don't think they'll dive into what exactly is wrong with Anthony, but at least we'll know where it's all going.
I wouldn't expect that.
We know this does suck for a lot outside of Anthony Johnson, outside of Bellator. Sucks for Nemkov. This was a big fight for him. It's a big because the problem with Nemkov is nobody. You don't mean it for the casual fan. Nobody knows how good you are until you fight someone who has been in that UFC sphere. So Johnson was that guy. So no matter who Nemkov, if Nemkov would have destroyed Anthony Johnson or whatever, then there would have been some serious talk. Oh, maybe Nemkov is the best 205er in the world, or right up there. But I think right now, until he can get that kind of crossover guy,
he already got that though.
With Phil Davis, with who?
With Ryan Bader.
But
smoked Ryan Bader.
I know,
people are having those conversations after that fight.
I know, but I feel Anthony Johnson is better than Ryan Bader. Do we agree?
Yeah. I mean, I would. Yeah, I would. I mean, if they were to fight,
if you go to every UFC fan and goes, who do you want to see fight, Anthony Johnson or Ryan Bader? 99.99% pick Anthony Johnson, and that's what I mean. They want to see Nemkov versus Anthony Johnson. No one won. I mean, we're not talking about. We're talking about entertainment. We're not talking about how actually good they are. And I think for Bellator and Nemkov himself, they needed that Anthony Johnson fight. So that sucks for them.
So if Romero wins, you throw him right in there with Nemkov, right?
Absolutely.
That's the fight you have to make.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Phil Davis wins, it's a different story. But I think if Romero wins, oh yeah. I mean that's why Bellator brought Romero in. They want him to get those big fights.
No, we have Julius Anglican waiting in the wings. We have, who's the other guy? The reserves. Who's the other designated reserves that I mentioned? Sorry, Julius Anglicus. Excuse me, Julius. Carl Albrechtson. Guys, we have a pool of reserves.
I'm cutting you off.
We have a pool of reserves. How dare you skip the reserve pool because you want fights that people want to see.
Poor Lyoto Machida's gonna get put in there with him. You know it. You just know it. Lyoto's gonna get in there with Nemkov.
I would be shocked if Romero has if he manages to beat Phil Davis and does it in an impressive way. I'm shocked if he doesn't get thrown in against Nemkov.
Yeah. That's why I think this fight even being booked was so incredibly dangerous for Bellator because of the situation like this. Because I'm picking Phil Davis pretty confidently, but if Phil Davis wins, then Nemkov really doesn't have an opponent that the people want to see.
Yeah, you're either pushing Romero out of the title picture for now, or you're setting up
a trilogy,
or you're setting up the trilogy again, which it just feels a little too soon for it, right?
Yeah. I agree.
What are your thoughts on Dana White's comments regarding MMA media being the ones responsible for fanning the flames of UFC fighter pay? All right,
wait, MMA media or scumbags? that's
2 weeks ago on BTL. It was about 9 days ago. Me and Jed talked about this, and it's just ridiculous, especially now when the fighters themselves are the ones bringing them up. That's why you hear them after every time they win, especially some of these newcomers. I'm broke. Please, please, please give me a bonus. It's not just the media. It's the fighters, too. It's just crazy. Dana White's out of his mind, and that's all I have to say about it. Anybody else want to jump in?
No, I do blame the media. How dare ESPN give Jared Cannonier a platform to complain about his fighter pay after winning his fight? He should really talk to the UFC's broadcast partner ESPN about that quote getting out there. No, it's absurd. It's absurd. We don't manufacture these quotes. It's like, again, I'm glad you mentioned the Cannonier. That was undeniably had nothing to do with us in the media. Has nothing to do with anyone manipulating Jared. But trust me, no one's manipulating what Jared says. Love him or hate him, the guy says what's on his mind. And he put it out there after winning a UFC main event, and he was broke.
Yeah,
right. And he's a top 5 contender in his division, a top 5 championship contender in his division. And he brought this up. So,
and I don't want to hear the argument from fans going, just fight every week like Kevin Holland does. So it's like that just doesn't. It's not reality. Fighters get injured. And if you're in any other sport, you get injured, you get some sort of, you still get your guaranteed money from the NFL or whatever. If you pull a hammy, you get injured in this sport, you ain't getting nothing. They take your Venom kit back. You don't get your cool shorts with a snake on it. Nothing. So yeah. It's a stupid statement by Mr. White. That's all.
It's a misdirection. It's a misdirection. Right? It's a classic.
Credit to Dana White for using this misdirection, because now the conversation is about us. It's not about fighter pay. Now all of a sudden it's about people talking about fighter pay. It's still not about fighter pay. So good job, Mr. White. You did it. You win.
The good thing is, as I know, our readers and listeners and our fans at MMA Fighting are too smart to fall for this bull crap, and I don't think I don't think the tactic worked this time. So Dana White, people are on to you, man. People are on to you in your games.
This seems like a silly question, but I think people need to know the answer because they're asking it.
How to watch the Bellator fights? Oh, I mean, you're at Mohegan Sun. You are Mohegan Sun, so.
Get inside of you. Get inside of you is how people will watch the fight. Oh no, wait. This
was in San Jose.
No, it's San Jose.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder Mohegan Sun is so confused.
So he's like there at the arena. Where is everybody?
Mohegan Sun is like, why are there no fighters inside of me right now? Oh, that sounded bad. Don't clip that. Don't clip that, guys. Don't clip that, please.
The fights are on Showtime.
Yeah,
the fights are on Showtime. I think the prelims are on the YouTube channel for Bellator. I think
we'll have a link on MMA Fighting. We'll have a link for the.
And if you want to watch the actual Bellator fights, they're on Showtime, or you can subscribe to Showtime.com or something. I don't know. I watch it on the app. I don't know.
If you're in Canada, guys, just go to Bellator's YouTube because we don't have a TV deal with Bellator up here. So prelims, main card, all on YouTube if you're in Canada, and I think anywhere else outside of Canada. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, my fellow Canadians, it's as easy as a click away. You can have the Bellator on one thing, you can have the UFC on the other thing. It's paradise up here.
All right, let's lower the bar a bit.
Who'd win a fight, Machine Gun Kelly or Conor McGregor, the walking cane? Serious question.
Machine Gun Kelly's really tall. Machine Gun Kelly's really tall.
Okay, Conor McGregor with a severely injured leg. Does he win a fight against Machine Gun Kelly?
With a weapon, yes.
With a walking cane? Can he really? I saw the way he threw that cocktail. That was not impressive by Mr. McGregor. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna go right today with Conor McGregor's half broken leg. Still, I'm gonna pick Machine Gun Kelly in a fight.
I'm trying to think what scenario. Yeah, so you're saying if Conor McGregor
with a broken leg.
Let's say it was boxing. Let's say it was boxing. Conor McGregor has one leg. Would Machine Gun Kelly be able to beat him in a fight? No.
Conor would hit him once, so it'd be over.
But he can't. He has nothing. He's punching on one leg. You see the way he threw that drink? You see that he threw the drink? Like I've seen Conor McGregor throw a Monster Energy can, and it went a good 50 yards. He's got a great arm, but without that leg to support, I mean that drink was like. So
he was on a red carpet. He didn't know what to do, so he was just like,
I think on one leg. You'd have to get. I think he could be in a electric like wheelchair. I would still
in the
pick McGregor.
The scooter.
Yeah, I would still pick McGregor. I think to beat him in any sort of combat sports contest.
All right. I don't know who Machine Gun Kelly is. I just hear that name a lot. I have no idea who it is. I just know he had some sort of. I know he had like some bedazzled like rhinestones on his face. That's all I know about him. I think he's from Cleveland.
He's from Ohio. He's from Ohio, like our beloved Damon Martin. Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's dating Megan Fox, which is
he's dating Megan Fox, which is I feel is notable.
Who's Megan Fox?
Who is Megan?
Get out of here!
Who's Megan Fox?
How dare you? Love the Transformers movies. Stop it.
No, I'm serious. Who is Megan Fox? Who's Megan Fox? I keep hearing that name.
Just Google her right now. You'll know.
Yes, she's an actress.
Is she good? Is she?
I think she's all right. I think she's better than people give her credit for.
I don't know her, so I'm not.
Transformers 1 and 2. Watch them. Don't watch them. Don't watch them. They're crap.
Which type of corner talk do you prefer? Trevor Whitman's cheerful tips or Saif Saeed's maniacal loud commands? That's a good question. James Krause is the winner. Yeah. I'm going to go with option C. James Krause, whatever he says.
Casey, let's say you were fighting. Not what you prefer. Let's say you were fighting. What kind do you respond to better?
You got to mix it up. I think you need a combination. When I'm sparring, like Mike, actually I'm more of a positive guy. Like if the coach is like just yelling, like just almost like, I think you need both. Honestly, I think you need both. It just depends it depends where you're at in the fight. If you're losing, if you're doing something bad, then I think the loud commands are good. If you're winning, you want to hear that, doing a great job, Casey, you're doing a good job, so think it works both ways. But both coaches are excellent at their job, and I think both of them adjust their coaching style for the fighter.
I need maniacal and loud.
Yeah.
I'm a bit spoiled, so I need real like psychological abuse to really get me at my best. I feel like so.
Okay, I'll tell Brian that too.
Well, I mean, he knows. Oh no, trust me, he knows. There's a reason. I've been working so efficiently. But no, yeah, I like the safe zone. Like, yeah, really like jar me. You know, if I seem like I'm being a bit lackadaisical or doing something wrong, like, yeah, let me know. If I'm doing well, fine. Like, you know, give me a little pat in the back and like, okay, good job. That's it. That's all I need for that. But if I'm doing bad, cuss me out.
All right, a couple more questions.
Right. It hasn't started yet. It has not started yet.
Not starting. All right,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll knock out some quick predictions before we get out to.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, getting some spam here. Oh, Mohegan Sun again.
What are you guys' thoughts on Ariel Helwani? He's a jerk face.
Jerk. What are they? That guy.
Okay. All right. No. Underrated. I'll say
underrated. Underrated.
He's the Phil Davis. Oh, by the way, I was wrong. The fights are starting now. I'm sorry. They are. We have one person in the cage now.
Wow.
It is
Whitmire or
Emily Whitmire.
Goldie.
Excuse me, Emily Whitmire and Hannah Goldie. Hannah Goldie's making her way in now.
All right. Helwani's the man, by the way. He's tremendous.
Underrated.
Okay, real
underrated.
quick. All right, real quick. Bellator main event. Casey, who you got? Davis or Romero?
Bellator main event. 3-round fight. Phil Davis, lackluster decision victory, unfortunately.
AK.
Romero, 3rd round knockout.
Davis decision for me. All right, we'll run through the main card real quick for the UFC. Joaquin Buckley, Antonio Arroyo, AK.
Buckley, knockout.
I'm going Buckley, 3rd round knockout.
I am going with Arroyo to pull it off. Must-win situation. I think he stops Buckley in the 2nd round. Nate Main is Tony Gravely. In my opinion, this will be the fight of the night. I'm going Gravely decision. Casey.
Ooh. Going Mainus. I don't know why.
AK.
Gravely. Sorry, I'm just quickly checking. I think Gravely decision. This guy's a contender. I'm a big fan of Gravely.
Anyone picking Christos Giagos to upset Arman Sarukian?
Can't do it.
I got Sarukian KO 1st round.
I got Sarukian decision. Giagos is tough. I think it's very tough.
I'm going round 2 submission.
Mandy Bohm, Ariane Lipski, AK.
Lipski decision. I like Bohm a lot. I think she has a really big future ahead of her, but Lipski's a big jump up in competition.
Casey.
I had picked Lipski, but Sarah Kaufman kind of made me switch to really looking more at Mandy Bohm. So I went with Lipski in my official pick, but I'm very curious about that fight now. I didn't know much about her, but now I'm kind of interested.
I think Mandy stops her in the 2nd round.
All right.
She can keep it on the feet. I think she wins. Kutalaba Clark, AK. This is the fight that you waxed poetically. You went psychological into the stare down.
Yes.
Who you got?
Oh, so beautiful. Clark by a grinding but somewhat entertaining decision. Not like a boring fight, but I like Clark. I think he's really tough, and I think he avoids the big shot.
I like Kutalaba. I liked what I saw in the Dustin Jacoby fight. He did slow down a little bit, but he showed a little bit of patience. He showed wrestling. Kutalaba is a bad man, and I think he learned a lot from the Jacoby fight. So I think Kutalaba will win the decision. Casey.
I think it's gonna be very similar to Jacoby fight. Kutalaba comes out strong. Devin Clark takes a beating, stays in the fight, and probably wins the 3rd round. So Kutalaba wins like a 30-27 because he'll probably win a 10-8 at some point, but he'll lose the 3rd round decisively.
And then last one, I got Anthony Smith, 3rd round submission. AK.
Span 3rd round knockout. Superman.
Casey.
Anthony Smith submission round number 2.
Round number 2. All right. That's it. Time for some mixed martial arts. ESPN Plus, wherever you watch in Canada, TSN more than likely. And then we'll be back in several hours from right now to recap all of the action.
Every single fight.
Yeah, we're going to break each one down one by one, all 27 of them.
Holland
even
Gracie.
Even the Bellator prelims.
Yep.
Even the Bellator prelims. So until then, for Casey, for AK, for my crazy child behind me, I am Mike Heck. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you later on tonight.
Hey, don't call me son. I have protection because Woody's in your room.
There you go.
I agree.
There you go.
agree.
Absolutely.
We all
absolutely.
agree.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Agree. Go to
Underrated.
sleep. Take a nap.